Hi, welcome to Chair Yoga. Today I'm going to show you some just quick yoga routines that you can do while you're at work, in between clients or phone calls or wherever you have, anytime that you're sitting for a long period of time. Just want to show you a few gentle stretches that can be done pretty much anywhere and regardless of what you're wearing. So as long as you're comfortable and you're able to move, if you have a chair with wheels, make sure you lock your wheels. Of course, we don't want you rolling away. I do have a yoga chair, which I will show you in future videos how to do some extra stretches on these. But just go ahead and find a comfortable spot on your seat. You can come a little bit more forward. You don't want to be leaning back, so you can sit nice and tall. We're going to first stretch by pushing the feet into the floor, lifting your spine and moving the top of the head towards the ceiling. So we're sitting nice and tall. So as you sit nice and tall, maybe you close your eyes, maybe you control your breathing, maybe it's been an extra stressful day and you just need to unwind. So we're going to take some gentle inhales through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And you can make an audible exhale if you'd like. Sometimes those stressful days, we just need to remember to breathe. And let's go ahead, and you can keep your eyes closed. You can always have a soft gaze in your eyes. Your eyes can always be open. That's an option too. We're just going to come to the front of our chair. Let's inhale both arms all the way up to the ceiling. Let's do a full body stretch. All the way up, lifting from the tailbone to the fingertips. And go ahead and exhale down. Let's go ahead and cross the right arm across the chest, keeping the palm open towards the back of the room. And let's bring that arm behind the head. You can keep that palm facing down. You can push in against the back of the head if you need to for a little support, just not too hard. And then we'll release that right arm, shake them out. Let's go ahead and cross the left over the chest, keeping that palm open. And trying not to dump the weight. We're trying to keep the hips facing the same direction. Just go ahead and pull that arm into the body, stretching from the shoulder to the fingertips. And then inhale, lift that arm, stretch behind the back. You can grab the elbow, wherever your arms reach, wherever it's comfortable for your shoulders. And then exhale, shake them out. Let's go ahead and bring your hands to your lap, wherever it's comfortable. I'm going to drop the right ear over the right shoulder. So we're going to extend the left side of the body. So you can bring that left hand down towards the floor. Nice gentle stretches. We don't want to over exaggerate a neck stretch. We always want to be really safe when we stretch our neck. And inhale back to center. Let's go ahead and drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Right arm can come down facing the floor. So it's one solid line from the arm to the head. And go ahead and nice and slow, come back to center. Let's go ahead and drop the chin down to the chest. And inhale as you lift the top of the head towards the back of the room, lifting the chin towards the ceiling. And coming back to center, and we'll just start with a few neck circles. So we're just going to do as we did earlier, right ear over the right shoulder, chin down to the chest, left ear over the left shoulder. Go ahead and drop the top of the head towards the back of the room, lifting the chin. You can even exaggerate that lift, opening through the throat and through the top of the neck, even dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And keep going in a full, complete circle, nice and slow. And don't forget to breathe. We do a lot of these neck exercises and forget to breathe. We hold our breath. Let's go ahead and go the other direction. So starting with the left ear over the left shoulder, dropping the chin down to the chest, right ear, right shoulder. And the top of the head falls back, lifting the chin. Nice and slow. Continue your circles. And after a few circles around, and you can go as many times as it's comfortable or as many times as you feel like you need to, just go ahead and come back to center. Let's go ahead and inhale both arms up to the ceiling again. Feeling the difference in the neck and the shoulders. Let's exhale into a twist to the right side. So left hand comes to the right knee. Right arm is going to come behind you. You can grab the top of your chair. You can even plant the hand just behind your back or your butt on your seat. Sit nice and tall, and then we'll start to twist into the right shoulder. Maybe each inhale, you can twist a little bit more. Maybe you can open that right shoulder a little bit farther. And these are really gentle twists. You don't want to force anything. And then exhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling. And then we'll exhale and twist into the left side. So same thing, right hand comes to the left knee. Left hand can plant right behind the sits bones, or you can come to the top of your chair, wherever you need to, depending on where you're at. Just go ahead and put that hand against that left knee and add some resistance. We'll start to twist into the left side. Each inhale, maybe you can twist a little bit farther. And then unwind. Let's inhale both arms back up to the ceiling. Go ahead and drop the hands down to the floor and exhale into a seated forward fold. And again, keeping those feet planted on the floor. I'm going to roll up to seated, one vertebrae at a time, so nice and slow. Let's go ahead and start to pedal out the shoulders like if you were riding a bicycle. So we're just going to lift one shoulder, lower the other. Use your breath. You can go as fast or slow on these as you'd like. You might hear a little snap, crackle, and pop if the shoulders are really tight. And then switch directions. There's always one way that feels a little more awkward. It's just the way our bodies are designed. We're doing an unnatural movement. That's why it's important. We really need to build that mobility so you can lift the elbows, especially when you're going backwards. That tends to open up the shoulders. And then go ahead and come back to center. From here, let's scoot back on your seat a little bit more. I'm going to bring the left ankle just on top of the knee. We're going to sit in our figure four. So keeping that right foot planted on the floor and as straight as you can. We're going to sit nice and tall. And maybe you start to fold forward. And you don't have to go very far. These aren't stretches that you need to be super flexible. We just want to get some movement, especially if you've been sitting all day. Hips and shoulders tend to be super tight. So we just want to find some movement. Just, motion is lotion, right? Like just got to find some movement. Maybe each inhale you can fold forward a little bit more. And then inhale back up to seated. Let's go ahead and make some little circles with the ankle. So just roll your foot around. You can point and flex the toes. Again, this is something you might be doing while you're at the office, at work. Whatever shoes you're wearing, feel free to remove your shoes if you have time, or if you're undisturbed or not interrupted. And then go and bring that left foot back down to meet the floor. Find your balance on the sits bone. Make sure you're not like lopsided, leaning from one side to the other. Plant that left foot. We'll bring the right foot over the left knee. And again, we always have one hip that's a little bit tighter. So on our inhale, sit nice and tall. And then exhale as you start to forward fold. And you can place the arms on the leg wherever you need. You can grab under the foot. You can get playful and play around, experiment what works for you. And inhale back up to center. Let's go ahead and roll that foot around, moving the ankle, point and flex the toes, I should say. Go ahead and make some more circles with the ankles. And go ahead and come back to the floor with both feet. Let's bring the left hand. You're just going to grab the outer edge of your chair. If you have a wide enough chair, you can just plant your hand. We're just going to lean and inhale the right arm up. And let's lean over to the right, but keep both hips planted in the chair. If you can turn and look up towards the elbow. And exhale, let's drop that right hand down to the floor if you can. If you have some books or something you want to stack next to you. And then lift that left arm to the ceiling. And inhale back up to center. If you happen to have a yoga block near you at your desk, that would be a great thing to add, but feel free to use anything you have as a prop. I love using our body as a prop, using the knees, the elbows, anything you can find. So let's go ahead and do that on the other side. So we're going to plant the right hand just on the outside of the seat and inhale that left arm over and lean over just from the torso, keeping the hips even on your chair. Maybe you turn and look up towards the elbow. And then on your inhale, drop that left hand down to the floor and right arm will come up towards the ceiling. You can look up towards the fingertips. Again, try to keep the balance in the hips, not dumping the weight from one side to the other. And inhale back up. Shake out the arms. Maybe you need to make some adjustments, anything you might want to change in that positioning in the chair. Let's go ahead and we're just going to scoot back onto the seat. Bring the right heel down to the floor. We're going to get a little warm and then we'll cool off and do some stretches through the rest of the body. So let's inhale the arms to the ceiling. Left foot is planted, right heel is on the floor, extended in front. We'll exhale, leaning forward towards the toes. And then we're just going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, back up to seated. And inhale again, arms come all the way up. And exhale down towards that right foot. And rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Let's plant that right foot down. We're going to do the same thing. So bringing that left leg out, stretch it out in front. Go ahead and drop the heel down. We'll inhale both arms to the ceiling and exhale down towards the foot. Go ahead and roll back up one vertebrae at a time. So kind of like a wave if you can picture your body. Inhale the arms to the ceiling and exhale down. And rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Bring that left foot in to meet the right. Once we get here, let's start to do a little more warm up. So we're going to come to the front of our chair, bring the heels out in front of you as comfortable as you can. We're just going to hold onto the back of the chair. Let's see if you can lift the chest, pulling the shoulders back. I'm going to do a slight back bend here. And then go ahead and come back to seated, nice and easy. We're going to plant the feet, but they're a little bit farther out from us. And if you're in a chair where you can do this, if not, we can do some modifications. So plant the hands into that chair. We're just going to lift the hips. So we're lifting completely out of the chair. We're doing a modified bridge lift, keeping the knees together, and then lower back down. If you need to make adjustments, you can always lean against the desk. You can do this against a wall. Anytime you can lift the hips, extending the shoulders, and come back down. Let's go ahead and bring the feet a little bit wider. So the knees come out to the sides, hips are a little bit wider than where they were. And we're going to just lift up onto the right toes. I'm not sure if you can quite see that. So we're going to lift the right toes, lifting the heel, bring that right elbow down and pushing against the right knee. Let's go ahead and drop that hand down. We're going to lift up, left hand towards the ceiling, working on opening up the inner thigh. Those hip flexors get super tight when you're sitting all day. And inhale back up. Sit nice and tall. I'm going to lift the left heel, left toes plant on the floor, bring that left elbow, pushing that left knee open. Inhale the right arm to the ceiling, left arm goes down towards the floor. So we're doing a modification of a triangle pose. And inhale back to center, keeping the knees wide, bring the palms together. We're just going to push the elbows into the knees as comfortable as you can. So you can come up onto the tiptoes, you can leave the heels flat on the floor. If you happen to have books or blocks or something nearby, a water bottle, something to put under your heels, you can keep that lift. If not, you can keep the feet flat. You just might not be able to fold as forward. So we're just going to fold forward. Once you get to a point where you feel like you might tip out of your seat, go ahead and drop the hands down to the floor. And you can drop the top of the head towards the floor. So we're in a modified version of our wide-legged forward fold. And then slowly rolling back up, one vertebrae at a time. You can bring the knees back in. Let's go ahead and so sitting nice and tall back in our seat. Let's go ahead and inhale the right arm towards the ceiling. Left arm's going to come down towards the floor. So almost as if you could picture somebody pulling both arms in opposite directions. Let's go ahead and bring that right arm behind the back and bring that left arm up to try to meet the right. You might not touch hands. You might be able to touch if you have a pen or a pencil or something where you can grab and hold, just opening up those elbows away from each other. So the left elbow is going back, right elbow is coming towards the ceiling, stretching in those shoulders. And go ahead and release the arms. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Left arm comes all the way to the ceiling, right arm's going to come down towards the floor, like somebody's stretching you, somebody's trying to shake your hand at the top and at the bottom. Let's go ahead and drop that right hand behind the back, or left hand, sorry. Right hand's going to climb up and try to touch hands. That's always my side. I can't reach. We always have one that's a little harder to reach than the other. So we're going to open the elbows up, pushing away from the body, opening up the shoulders. Go ahead and exhale, shake out the arms. Let's go ahead and do a little shoulder warm up. So we're going to bring the arms out in front. Hands are flat facing the floor. Palms are facing down. Bring the palms up towards the ceiling. Palms are going to come down facing the body. Inhale the hands back up. These are really good if you're on the computer a lot, if you're using a mouse, if you're typing. Just keep moving the wrists, the palms facing up and the palms facing down. We'll go a few more times, and then we're just going to open the hands up. So we're pushing the elbows in together. The palms are facing out. I'm going to open them up. You can even kind of cup the hands, round the hands in, open up to the outside, and back in. Let's do that a few times. Stretching all the way through the forearm. Let's go ahead and just make some circles with the wrists. You can go either direction if you like to go both ways at the same time. Maybe you're creative and you can go all different directions. And then shake out the arms. Let's go ahead and sit nice and tall. And one more full body stretch. Inhale the arms all the way up. And exhale down. You can bring the hands all the way to the floor, rounding the spine. And then rolling back up to seated. Let's scoot back on the seat a little bit. We're going to go right into some seated cat-cows. So we're going to wind down for the day here, dropping the belly. Let's lift the chin. So we're resting on our thighs. You can put your hands against the knees. We're going to round the spine into the shoulders, really tucking that belly button into the spine. And inhale as you come back into your cow pose. Lift the chin, exaggerate that stretch, kind of get into that thyroid in the throat. And round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. Inhale, one more cow pose. And then round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. You can really exaggerate this one. Maybe you even walk the hands down past the knees. And then slowly rolling back up to seated. Now that we're nice and warmed up, hopefully things feel a little looser. Maybe your hips aren't as tight, and feel free to, repeat any of those, especially the hips. The shoulders get really tight from sitting, and that's kind of the first thing we lose as we age, our mobility. We tend to lose shoulder and hip range of motion. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.